In the early 60s, Ford introduced a car called the Mustang that was so popular, Chevy decided to follow suit and introduce its direct competitor, the Camaro. And since then, really not much has changed.
No, the formula has definitely stayed the same, but man, the total sum has increased dramatically.
Now we've assembled two of the latest variants of these pony cars as the way you should probably order them, with the V8. Now these aren't performance package cars, but these are the cars most people are going to end up buying. We've got them here to see how these two modern versions of the pony cars stack up. All right, Mark, it's up to you to sell me on the 2018 Mustang.
It should be pretty easy because number one, I can see. Look, you can see turns.
This is true, but also, listen.
Oh, this sounds amazing.
That sounds really good. I swear that's louder than the Camaro.
It is.
In this world of Camaro Mustang, loud wins.
And this has that active exhaust option where you can do a quiet start if you don't want to wake up all your neighbors, but it sounds so rad anyway. I think they'd be cool with it, right?
Well, tell me about this 5-liter, because I see it's revving higher. How does it feel?
It feels great. You know, it's kind of got some of that high revving personality of that GT350.
Yeah.
Which I really, really dig.
Who doesn't?
But just like the GT350, the first time I got in this and started really driving it hard, I realized I was short shifting.
Really?
I could let this wind way more out.
Because you've got so many more revs to play with than you would traditionally expect. You're used to a V8 being kind of a low revvy kind of thing.
Right.
But then when you have above 7,000 RPM, woo, it's fun when you realize you can play with it.
Oh yeah.
So you've got a big digital display. How do you like that in the day-to-day use?
I really, really like it. You know, I get that some people are traditionalists. They want to see the old gauges.
Yeah, and it's optional though, right?
It's an option.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So you can have traditional gauges if you like. But yeah, I like that the tach moves like a bar graph when you're in the track setting like we are now.
So this is the new 10-speed auto. The whole point of that is, you know, quicker acceleration, you know, shorter gears down low, taller up top, so you got fuel economy. I dig that and everything, but this is a Mustang. It should have a stick shift. It should have 6 gears, and there's sometimes this little weird delay between when you hit the upshift and when it finally does.
Oh, so when you're controlling the gears manually, there's a bit of a delay?
Yeah, I've been in paddle shift mode ever since we set off here. So, see, it's not that immediate.
Yeah.
It's still really freaking good.
Yeah.
But there's still that romance of muscle cars where you should have a stick.
You want to be able to bang gears.
Yeah.
That's how you feel good. That's when you feel good, is when you just shift it quick. This is not a performance pack car.
No performance options on this except for maybe the exhaust.
And the V8 engine.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, I like it. It's compliant, it's still comfortable. The way this transitions out of a turn, I really dig. You get on that power early and it starts straightening you out. Oh, it's happy.
It seems like it's giving you quite a bit of oversteer on the power out, but in a really nice controllable way.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They tune that the stability control really well, where if you start getting it a little sideways, but you're still in the throttle, it'll let you do it up to a certain slip angle.
Yeah.
But once you lift out of it, then it will snap you right back in line.
That's nice.
And I mean, I really like the way this comes out of turns. Just a little bit, and it just starts, yeah. That little snap out of it. I really dig this
How
car.
do those brakes feel?
Solid. I mean, these aren't performance upgrade brakes either.
Yeah.
The pedal, it's, you know, moderately firm. Easy to modulate, that's for sure.
I just can't get over the sound this thing
Isn't
makes.
that great? Let's go to like a normal mode, shall we?
Yeah, the
That's
Mr. Rogers
smart.
mode.
Where's my... This is the problem with this toggle switch. It only goes up. It should go down as well.
This is quiet?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
a lot less bass going on now.
Ford clearly defines quiet differently than I might.
This mid-cycle refresh is a little bit more than the typical mid-cycle refresh. I mean, they have the adaptive suspension, they have, you know, a lot more safety features, cool options like the instrument panel. I really like this.
This is a 6-speed manual.
I know, I like them.
But because you can do things like this,
Ah. Oh, no lift.
and on top of that, it also has rev matching. So it's basically an automatic. And so this is the Camaro SS that we all know and love.
Love?
Love. It's what makes a Camaro a Camaro.
Wait, that's Subaru.
So we're down 5 horsepower and a couple pound-feet of torque, I forget.
It's completely irrelevant at this point. 460 versus 455.
Well, I was also going to make the point that this car is about 50 pounds lighter, so the whole power and torque deficit comes out about even.
I think so.
When you get down to it. What I like about this car, and what I've liked traditionally about Camaros, is the handling balance. This is a big, meaty car.
Yeah.
With a ton of low-end grunt, with a ton of power, that you can do that, which is terrific.
It just sounds like you're going to break something.
Well, you know, traditionally you would break something.
Yes.
And so what I like is that they actually took the time to build that into the system so you don't have to worry about breaking anything.
Right. Oh,
it's
my
just
God.
so satisfying.
It really is. That is impressive.
Now, getting back to like the dynamics part of it, yes, this car has no visibility. It's basically a windowless van.
I don't know. The visibility bothers me. I don't have a really good grab handle here.
Does this look like the face of somebody who cares?
Fair enough. But here's the thing. Do you think there's a dynamic difference between these two cars that is a deal breaker one way or the other? Because I personally have just as much fun in both cars.
That's the truth of it, isn't it really? The difference is the badging on the hood, and that's basically it.
Right, so what are we fighting for?
Well, the Camaro's obviously better.
No, it's just, no.
No, it's
the
really,
Ford is less flawed.
It's really one of those things that, like, we've always been at war with Eurasia, right?
Yes.
It's just this constant rivalry that goes back and forth, but fundamentally you end up with the same vehicle with minor variations. And so it comes down to basically what's your preference. I prefer that, which is great, but I'm sure there's qualities in the Mustang I would also like as well. But this is a fine handling vehicle that handles with a delicacy and a lightness that, you know, kind of belies its size, right?
Well, the styling too makes it look chunkier and heavier than it is.
Yes, absolutely. From the 6-speed manual to the rev match buttons, the toggles on the steering wheel, the standard Camaro SS, I'm gonna say bare bones, it's pretty much what you'd expect in this kind of car. I like the interior layout. I like the way things are arranged. Like, this is a very classical panel right there.
Yeah, and this coved
gauge.
out section here is kind of, you know, heritage Camaro stuff. I like the design. I really, truly like the design. I think it's pleasing to look at, but in practice, it's got some issues for me.
The big issue, of course, is the visibility. And then there's just a couple of like weird, annoying things, like the way the screen seems to be angled inwards, so it looks like it's sloping down. Doesn't affect how you use it, it just looks weird. And then you have a problem with these center vents.
Yeah, they're really great for cooling down your knuckles, but nothing else. What I do like is when you turn that bezel, it adjusts the temperature. That's really cool. I think that's kind of almost
clever.
Audi-esque in its execution, but they need to be up here or I mean, they're right on your knuckles.
The important stuff, like the speedometer, is easy to read. You have big analog gauges. You have a head-up display that's configurable. All the important controls, steering wheel, shifter, clutch, pedals, all fall to hand and foot really easily. The drive mode selection stuff's really easy to use. It's the stuff like interior storage and like the wireless charging pad being back here, which is just strange.
That means you're going to forget your phone in here all the time.
I don't know why you would use that, because if you have a nice smartphone here, you're going to use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, which requires being plugged into here.
Right.
But this compartment isn't big enough to fit most modern smartphones.
Right. From the passenger side, and I noticed this when you were throwing us around on track, is the passenger doesn't have very good grab handles.
Yeah.
There's nothing for me to hold on to here, and this is hard plastic right in my elbow. That's something that you don't have to deal with in the Mustang, or at least your passenger won't have to.
So overall, it's a lot of stuff that doesn't really matter when it comes to driving quickly, but stuff that does make this car a little bit not so nice on the day-to-day commute.
It's not completely different. It's a mid-cycle refresh. They got some new features here and there, but most importantly, it's this digital instrument cluster.
The optional gauge cluster, right?
It is. It's so cool. If you switch drive modes, and it kind of gets this racy kind of tack bar across the top.
I like that bar graph tack. That's really cool looking.
It is.
Yeah.
The difference between this and the Camaro, I think, there's less flaws.
Okay.
Number one, we can see out of it.
That's nice. Yeah, I really appreciate being able to see outside of the vehicle.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you're wearing a suit of armor and you're just peeking through a little tiny mail slot.
Yeah.
Materials quality, I think, is slightly better. Like, my elbow points are nicely padded. And for you, probably, you might be bumping into that a little bit.
I like that I have a grab handle.
Yeah.
In panic mode. I don't have one on the left side, but I have one on the right side, which is, I think, better than the Camaro.
Yeah.
But I like the general layout of this interior. It feels a little bit more airy, it feels a little bit more open, and that's probably to do with the increased visibility, but also the way the center stack is designed here. This just has a nice flow to it.
And look, the vents are up top.
And the vents work. And they've been able to, you know, keep the influence of like the 60s design elements in the dash, but also add the modern touches that still make it work.
The dual cowl dash thing. Now, there's some things that still bother me, like this little dash topper here and this center thing up there. Those are carryovers, and they really seem out of place because everything else seems to be quite a bit better.
So this car and the Camaro both have optional exhaust volume options.
Yes.
This one has the option, the Camaro doesn't.
This one, compared to the Camaro, goes to 11.
I think it goes past it.
This is rad. Oh!
That's ridiculous.
Even better is the quiet mode. Oh, that's quiet. You can schedule when it's going to be quiet. So between midnight and 7 a.m., I have it set for quiet. So no matter what, I don't have to hit that button.
Your neighbors don't hate you.
They do, but not for this.
What I really appreciate is the amount of interior storage you have in this car.
Yeah.
From, you know, you only have 2 cup holders and stuff like that, but you have center pockets, and this center console is a bit bigger, and just things in here feel a bit more livable day to day. If there isn't like any enormous performance differences, it's certainly like more attractive for the commuter.
But in the back, the trunk is way more usable than the Camaro too. It has a lower lift over, it's a bigger trunk, it's way more useful. So if there's one thing about muscle cars that's important, it's fun. And in my opinion, both the Camaro and Mustang do fun equally well.
Yeah, I love the acceleration in both. They both have fantastic transmissions, and they're both a lot of fun to slide around.
That said, I think the Mustang does everyday life better.
I agree, the Mustang is an easier car to live with every day, but for some reason, I still enjoy driving the Camaro more.
That's what we think. Let us know what you think. For more information on the Camaro, the Mustang, or any of its competitors, head over to Edmunds.com. If you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe.